creative text animations and VFX effects like Nikovaxx. That's the only buzz in the community right now. Well, apart from the edit he stole. So today I'll be teaching you all kinds of his text effects and animations in a very simple manner so you too can have something like this. And if you think the edit that backs up this text is also cool, then check out the first part of this video where I made that from scrap and taught basically everything in depth, obviously after watching this part. And don't you dare click off, because in this same video I'll give away some of his advanced VFX presets and teach you how you can use it in your edits with minimal effort. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, talking about text and presets, who does not hate typing down the same text over and over again while making short form content or edit? Well, worry no more, because Accelerated Creative in this context has got your whole back, who also happens to be this video's sponsor. Their product Dynacap uses AI locally on your computer to generate accurate subtitles from audio and can even extract audio from your current composition as is. You can also choose existing audio files or subtitle files respectively. Whether it's creating cool text for your edits or just animated text for your short form without much effort, Dynacap not only detects your text and writes them down word by word, but also adds really cool effect and transition, which by the way is 100% changeable. Apart from that, you can save your own presets and tell the program to generate text to match your style automatically forever. And unlike other software, it does not support only English language but Hindi, Arabic, Japanese, German and other major languages too. In case there are any mistakes in the generated layer, you can always change it along with some other effects and transform values. This might sound like a deal of $150 or so, but hey, surprisingly, it only starts at $25. Still too much? Try it monthly for only $5. And yes, for all the versions starting from 2015. The link is in the description. I've personally used it so many times and oh boy does it perform so good. Now this is going to be the first text animation I'll be teaching you on. But before that, I'd like to request you all to check out my broski Pocket, since he's the one who recorded this after my PC's SSD died. He's very underrated and you'll understand it once you check him out. Back to the timeline we left in the part 1. Create a new text layer by pressing Ctrl Alt and T. Highlight the text and adjust its alignment. Now open up the text layer's properties and hit on the animate button. Then select the tracking. Set a keyframe and animate it. Now animate it back to the default value. So working on this composition is kinda messy, so I'll provide a separate composition to the text by pre-composing it. Gonna go inside of it and then add a drop shadow. It does not have to be from Sapphire. To create the actual deal now, I'm going to add a CC light sweep and change the center to the text position and animate it as per the text, from the beginning to the end. These are the final values I used for this effect. You can copy it if you want. Finally, I'm going to top it off by animating the opacity as well. Pretty basic, but there's a lot of impact. So this is what we're doing now. Just like before, have your text layer prepared. I'm going to design it a little bit, so duplicate it, and for my ease, I'll rename them to fill and stroke. Gonna change the color of the above text to white and disable the fill. Now change the opacity of the text layer below to give it an animated feel. Duplicate the same layer now and draw a mask around the text layer. Increase the feather excessively to blend it smoothly. Great. That was it for our fill 6 layer. Now on our fill layer, draw a rough mask, covering the top of it and then feather it excessively, but this time change the blending mode to subtract. Looking at the text, I think we should be focusing more on its compositing, like the shadows and gradient stuff. So that's exactly what we're gonna do now. Now duplicate the fill once again, but this time delete the mask of that layer and increase the opacity all the way to 100. Then change the blending mode of the layer to add. I'm going to create a box-like mask and animate it via mask position. To give more emphasis on the above text layer, I'll add an exposure and increase the value slightly, just like that. Now let's change the way the text looks so that it gets kinda gradient stuff. I did few changes, but I'll not show you as those are only adjustments. Again, create an adjustment layer above all of the text and add a SU Sat Bright from Sapphire. Decrease the saturation of the effect so that it gets the black and white kind of look. Create a mask on that too, and you guessed it right, animate the mask path. I'm wanting to create a mask path animation so that the gray stuff just animates like the CC light strip. I hope you get the point because it's kind of hard to explain this point right here. Then we're gonna move to the graph editor, choose the speech graph and graph it slightly just. After everything is done, animate the tracking amount once again to give that touch. First keyframe set to like -30, the second one to around 70, and for the third one change it to somewhere between -15 to -20, just like that. Over here, duplicate the stroke layer, change its color to black, and now pull it all the way down. Okay, so we're doing this to compose it a little more. Now animate the opacity to bring it to life even more, just like that. It looks perfectly fine now. Select all of the text, node and adjustment associated with the thing we just made and open up scale for them. Then just animate it to go from higher value to lower. Now also open a position for the stroke and set a keyframe. Then just animate it from leftwards to its initial position. Gonna slightly graph it, you can too. Again, above all of the null layers, create another adjustment layer and add a CC light rays. Change its value to these parameters, and yeah, just that much. Now I spent some time compositing and playing with settings, but mine settings won't fit your clip as it's gonna have different set of lightings. So what you want to do is add curve, deep glow, levels, etc. and keep playing with them until it matches your background and the text blends with your background perfectly. So this was the outcome of what we just did. Looks pretty sick, not gonna lie. Okay, moving on to our last text animation before the VFX effects. We have this cool text integrated with transition. I kinda like this one, and now I'm going to break it down for you. Have your text layer ready, and this time the fill disabled and only the stroke enabled. Add the essentials such as drop shadow. Now I'll duplicate the text and on the top layer I'll enable the fill. Again, now pre-compose it. And after all of this, select the pen tool and draw a rotated rectangle-ish mask. I think you're kind of getting the point of what we're about to do. Move it just a little away from the text and keyframe the mask path. Then move a little away and pull the mask again, just a little away from the text, but this time opposite. Then add a deep glow on the above layer and you can see just how cool this one is. To fill the gap, I'll create another text layer and name it the same. Now gonna adjust its position. Now I'm going to add a drop shadow from Sapphire plugin. You can copy my settings, and yeah, it's not pivotal or mandatory to use from Sapphire. Again, I'm going to slightly adjust its position so it fills the empty gap. Now for a little cleaner composition, I pre-composed all of the layers into one, and now I'm gonna go inside of it and change some values. I linked the text composition we just made to the transition we made in the part 1, so that the text too follows the movement of the clip. Now next up, copy the stroke text layer which is in the bottom and just paste it over here. Manage its duration. I'll tell you in a moment why we did that. After we're done with this, we're gonna surround the other sides with the same text too, just like this. Now create a mask such as this and feather it excessively to perfectly blend. You can also reduce the opacity to do that. He looks sick, not gonna lie. Now, there is another text effect and animation, I know, but hey, the procedure to making that is the same as the one I just made. So try to grab the concept, then just copy settings. You're gonna learn better that way. Okay, so we're finally done with all of the text animations, and now we're gonna move to his VFX part. And no, I'm not gonna make them and show you. Instead, what I will do is give away the preset itself so you can make it in your edits. And the main file is in my Discord server.